Let's talk about the month of May, shall we? Cue the intro. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome back to another Lost the Plot video and me on my ones once again. Yes, this is my monthly rundown of films that have been released, talking about whether they make it or if they are just absolutely shocking, like a couple of films that were released this month, and I'm going to recommend to never ever watch them because they will be torture for your eyes. Lovely. Right. Yes, before I get onto the video, I want you to I would very much like you to subscribe as well if you haven't already. And we also have an Instagram, we have a TikTok, we have a Facebook you can follow where there are live updates and posts that go on. Quite interesting posts actually that have been put on recently. And yeah, just to stay up to date and get involved with us as much as you possibly can. Right, if you are commenting down below, make sure it's about film and it's not about random rubbish. There will be instances where I'll probably ask questions. Feel free to answer them or talk about the films if you agree or disagree. All right, so let's go and crack on with our first film. And for our first film, I'm going to do something specific, which you should all know what it is if you've seen it. No, it's not Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's Doctor Strange. Because I didn't quite fancy having a big red cape on. So I'm going to do this instead. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, directed by Sam Raimi. I'm giving it 6.5 out of 10. If you've already watched our Doctor Strange review, fantastic. It will pop up on the screen in a moment in one of the corners. Okay? And go and watch that because that is a in-depth review of the film and what we thought about it. All right, this is going to be very brief, very quick from myself. I originally gave it a 6, but 6.5 after further consideration. It's shown what Marvel were really good at, and it also shown what Marvel have been struggling with over the past few releases. The bad parts of this film: it was not dark enough. It was advertised as being one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's first horror films. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. There was 2 jump scares, if anything. Doctor Strange, as a character, I don't think he's a big enough character to carry the MCU moving forward at all. I feel like there's a lot of weight on his shoulders and he's not living up to expectations, especially when we've just had Robert Downey Jr. with Tony Stark and Chris Evans as Captain America. And my final point that I'm going to mention is the Illuminati. Quite convenient that, isn't it? The Illuminati were absolutely horrendous, and I can't express that enough. Their being in this film was pointless. It was lackluster. It was poorly written. I'm going to say lazily written as well. It's like Marvel at the minute are seeing this as the multiverse as an opportunity to include cameos of every single person that have ever held any weight in the MCU. Spoiler, even John Krasinski being in it, I hated. Did not like it at all. The smartest man in the universe, he can kill you. What are you doing? Prat. Did not like it at all. Not very good. The good parts, however, were mainly the characters and their specific development. America Chavez, brilliant, refreshing, new, nice to see a different dynamic. Cinematically it was amazing, very good, very well shot, I thought. Wong was good, and good to the extent where he was better than the main 2 characters throughout the film, Wanda and Doctor Strange. And probably a little bit more favourable than Doctor Strange as well. And finally, the main positive was Wanda as the villain. She was amazing. Like, really, really good. And it was nice to see her in a different light. It was nice to see her be more dark and commanding and understanding her power. it was good. I've thoroughly enjoyed her being the villain. Wanda Core is terrible. Should never be in it. And the end credits were terrible as well, especially involving this thing here. One moment is screaming out, thinking, oh my God, what's happening? The next minute, he's just accepted it. Didn't like it. Don't care of it. And I don't even care if it's an extension of the Eye of Agamotto. Didn't need it. Very pointless. But all in all, it was all right. The multiverse of meh, we've been calling it on our reviews. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10. Not groundbreaking, not terrible, somewhere in the middle. Right, so move on to the second film. And what I'll do is I'll replace this big eye for a smaller one. And for those that now know and realise, this is the eye that represents everything, everywhere, all at once, directed by the two Dans, because I can't say one of their names. I can say Daniel Kwan, but the other one, not a cat in hell's chance. Tried it many a times. And I've given this a 9 out of 10. And it's safe to say this film is one of the best things I've seen this year and probably in recent times, along with the next film that I'm going to review. It felt like an acid trip, but ultimately it was an absolute visual feast for the eyes. It mixed ridiculous with emotional and moving, with some brilliant action sequences, with genuinely funny comedic moments as well. It had everything that you could possibly imagine in a film. And I can't praise it enough for its originality. Very, very well done. Because it was refreshing to see. Some reviews had said they didn't understand what was going on. That's because you weren't paying attention. Because the exposition that was included in this film was key and not overly done either. This was a film that was complicated, but did it in a way where it was manageable for us to follow. I loved it. It was so very, very good. Michelle Yeoh, what a performance. Well done. Her action sequences are genuinely superb. Short Round was in it from Indiana Jones. A little throwback for you there. It was excellent. Stephanie Housso, I'm sorry if I've butchered that name, but she was excellent as the main antagonist throughout the film. Jojo Tabaki smashed it. She was excellent. It was genuinely really good. And yes, we talk about how ridiculous it is, and you'll see that, but ultimately the messages that were held throughout were resonated with everybody. It wasn't glorious and fancy like MCUs and DC films and superheroes. It was down to earth. It was ground level, but it was also very much groundbreaking. Very, very well done. Cinematography was excellent. Choice of shot was excellent. Choice of colours were excellent. Dialogue was excellent. This film was amazing. And if it does not win an award, I will be extremely, extremely surprised. I can't tell you how captivating this film was. Don't get me wrong, it's not for everyone, because it is an absolute fustercluck. But ultimately, it's amazing. Superb. And there is one scene, those that have seen it will know what I'm on about, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, there's numerous. But I'm going to say 2 words, and that is butt plug. Genuinely ridiculous, but excellent. I don't know how to explain it. The choreography throughout was amazing. Very, very, very well done. It was the multiverse done correctly. And if you could please get in contact with Kevin Feige at MCU and give them some tips, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very, very, very much. That brings me on to my third film I saw this month. I'm going to replace this with ultimately these. And from putting these on, everybody should know what this film represents. Whether you are 4, whether you are 40, whether you are 100, or whether you are 12. You should know what film these represent. Yes, it's Top Gun Maverick. And I'm just going to give a little pause for a clap, because it genuinely was just superb. Directed by Joseph Kosinski, and I tell you what, wow, what a film. It's not often you see a sequel better than its predecessor, but I'm going to put it out there. This film was better than the original. Yes, the original is iconic and there are moments in it that are wow, and it was innovative, but so was this film, and it felt like it took it up a notch. Modifying it as well, making it modern. It was genuinely amazing. Me and my dad went to watch it, and it genuinely gave us goosebumps, not boosgumps, can't get those, goosebumps throughout moments of this film. That's when you know it's good. The action sequences were choreographed excellently. This is the best action film I've seen for a while. A good while. And that's all down to the action sequences that are choreographed with jets and the manoeuvres in the air. It's breathtaking to watch. It's just full of adrenaline. It's moving at times as well, and the character development and relationship between Miles Teller and Tom Cruise is superb. Maverick and Rooster. And there is not too much cheese. There's a little sprinkle, but ultimately not too much at all. Very, very well written. And I feel like the moments that are an homage to the original are done superbly. They're not overused, they're not overdeveloped, and they're not focused on too much. It enhances the film, and it enhances the emotion of the film as well. Brilliant. It's moving as well. Top Gun film, moving. Yes, in the first we have Goose dying, which was the moving moment. In this, we have the relationship between Tom Cruise and Miles Teller, which is the most moving part, and the love interest a bit as well. And the death of Iceman. There's a spoiler. But genuinely excellent. Go and watch it. There's only one thing that stops this being a 10 out of 10, which is the love interest. The love story. Jennifer Connelly does a great job. I like her as an actor, not a problem. And it did enhance the film, and it did give a little bit of stakes in there at the end as well. But ultimately, it felt a little bit forced, especially with how it went in the first one. This one felt a little bit forced at times, too forced at times, and I didn't appreciate it. And that's the one thing that stops it being a 10, if I'm being completely honest. Glenn Powell as Hangman was brilliant as well as Monica Barbaro as, what's the name? Can't remember. She's really good as well. Like, really good. The supporting cast was excellent, and everybody got the moments. Well done. Very, very, very well done. Right. On to the fourth film that I'm going to be talking about, and I'm going to take these off because we're going to come back down to earth a little bit because this was shocking. And what I'm going to do, now it's broken on me. That's brilliant, isn't it? See if this works. See if I can light a candle with it. I'll just hold that. Firestarter, innit? Yeah. Stephen King novel. I'm not going to hold that for all because the gas will run out. My mum will shout at me. So I'll probably put that out now. That'll do. Tried to light a candle. Failed miserable. Doesn't matter. Right. Firestarter was shocking. 2 out of 10. It was underdeveloped. It was pointless. It was lackluster. It was slow. I tell you what, no character had any depth. The only character was Charlie, the girl, and even she felt underdeveloped. It felt like you sat down, a bunch of rubbish went on, and then they just moved on. I can't stress enough how everything happened too quickly. The credits at the start were really promising. Brilliant. I thought, oh, this is going to be something interesting. They're going to develop it well. They're going to focus on this fact that they were experimenting. It's going to be really dark. Whoever gave it a 15 rating needs to have a good hard look in the mirror, because it is a 12 at most. Yes, you see burnt bodies, but that's it. Honestly, no darkness to it whatsoever. Could have been a lot darker. And there were parts of it that were, like I say, promising, that could have been developed superbly, but ultimately were not. The story was weak as piss, with low stakes, and pointless spots in it. I can't stress that enough. Too many pointless scenes that were included in this film slowed it down. Score's all right, if I'm being honest. The score was fine. It was bad. Don't watch it. Firestarter, more like fire extinguisher. It was bad. Right, moving on the foul from the candle. Let's go on to the 5th film that I watched this month. For those that know what this is, Connor, you'll know if you're watching. Should do anyway. This is my Chip hat from Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the reboot that came out this month on Disney Plus. Bloody hell, it was like an ad, weren't it? Christ. This film was a 7 out of 10. Do you know what? Directed by Kyver Schaefer, it was actually really funny. And I know it's made for kids. If they made an adult version, my God, it would have absolutely blew the house down. It would be amazing. As a kids version, it was funny. But as an adult version, I feel like it would be incredible. Because there were so many instances you could have done that. It was well written. The characters were developed nicely. The casting of Andy Samberg was excellent. And it generally is an ingenious parody that is so self-aware and makes jokes about past failings so well. It was really good. Well done. Well done. If you've got a spare hour and a half, I would highly recommend you go and watch it. Because it is really good. There's parts in it, obviously, because it's made for children. And the story is just unoriginal, obviously, because it's Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. And also, it's the same regurgitated thing over and over again. Yeah, it was predictable. But ultimately, it's just fun to watch. Really fun to watch. Like I say, you've got a spare hour and a half. Go and watch it. You won't regret it. It's fun. It's like a who's who of cameos. There's even a part for Ugly Sonic in there, which is just genius and absolutely brilliant. One thing that I absolutely despised from this film was the dialogue between Chip and Dale. Well, just actually not Chip and Dale. The dialogue of Ellie, the female police officer. Oh my God. Stop. What? Oh my God. Something bad has happened. What shall we do? I'm a Chip and Dale fan. Ha ha. It was really bad. Didn't like it. It was uncomfortable to watch. And it really took away from the film. Anytime she come up on screen, I felt myself going, go away. But no, the film in general was good. Don't let that detract from it. It's a 7. It's good. It's fun. I'm going to take my Chip hat off now. And I'm going to my 6th film. 6th film. Benediction. Not good. 3 out of 10. Directed by Terence Davis. A film that I was excited about because it focused on Siegfried Sassoon, a famous poet that fought in World War I, but ultimately fell flat, was lacklustre for me, and was a stereotypical mess in the sense that it started off well, and we started to see his discontent at World War I and his opposing views to his commanding officers, and that was genuinely interesting, and the dialogue was captivating. But throughout the film, after that, it fell off a cliff, and I'm talking Black Widow off a cliff. Really poor. Yes, it focused on him being gay. Not a problem with that. And it could have been absolutely excellent. Don't get me wrong, could have been. But I feel like it focused on and it glorified it being a gay in that time period. And I didn't appreciate the glorification of it. I felt if they'd have focused on the actual severity of what they were going through and showing how they overcome it and the beauty of love between people, that would have been amazing. And it would have enhanced it even more. But it was too stereotypical. And I felt they could have made it even deeper than it was by focusing on that and not making it as stereotypical. But don't get me wrong, the performances were brilliant throughout. It was just a weak film in my opinion. And like I say, lackluster, slow, not very good. And that's it. May. Ultimately a good month. Chip and Dale, good. Maverick, really good. Everything Everywhere All at Once, really good. And Doctor Strange, good. Benediction, no. Firestarter, no. Don't watch them two. The other four, definitely go and watch them. Two films I'd like to watch, but one of them fell off the face of the earth, which was Father Stu. Never seen a showing of that anywhere after I think it was the 10th of May. Cheers for that. Thanks, cinemas. Really good. And then the second one was Bob's Burgers. Ultimately, I don't give a monkeys at all because never watched it as a kid. Never watched it now. Don't care about it. So yeah, thanks for watching. May was a great month. Leave a comment down below if there's anything that I've missed or if you agree with anything that I'm saying. It would be nice to hear from you. I might pose a question in the comments for you guys to answer about the month of May. If there was a film that you wanted to see or didn't actually get to see in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And obviously, like I've said, we've got an Instagram, we've got a TikTok, we've got a Facebook page, so to keep you updated with everything. And ultimately, yeah, cheers. Much appreciated. Thank you. See you later.